that shit went out the window.
Right.
Bad. Finish? You finish?
You're gonna wear that?
Yeah, well, what's that fucking look well? The fuck? Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you, motherfucker. Anyway, thank you all very much for coming. Artie's here to be told me. John Messenger, people have a wee chat tonight. Pinned link in the description. 6 clockwork, thank you. And yeah, me and John, we know each other on Facebook. Right? This on the Saturday, so we thought we would have in. And yeah, I have a few different topics we'll go with, but John, for the don't remember, don't know, you want to do like a wee 30 seconds?
Sure. My name's John, and I used to run a channel called Messenger Reveals. Don't really spend much time on it anymore. Just been enjoying life off of YouTube. But occasionally I'll pop in the atheist or Christian chat and sometimes shake things up just for fun and for getting people to think in a different way. And sometimes that seems to be polarizing for certain people. But thanks for having me on.
You can be a wee bit polarizing. But with the audio fix.
I suddenly realized what you were talking about when you were talking about me joining tonight.
Okay, I've turned it down. That should fix. God, we're not. Best I can do. I've ordered some paneling for the walls. Fabio is here. Sandy is here. Hard to see it.
Okay.
And Stephanie's here. Yeah, yeah. Woo! So, John, you can be controversial as you described it. Would you give an example without need of an action which you've had? Hey, Bears, where you would have a
I mean, nothing specific comes to mind in regard to a specific controversial point, but I would say some of the things that I mention or talk about, people are quick to jump to illusory correlations with. Like if I mention that I find value in the parables of Jesus, automatic assumption, this is a Christian. You know, if I mention that, hey, people can...
I don't want to say that it's... Yeah, I'm a follower of Jesus. Is Christian.
Well, you got to remember, if you even go back to reading the New Testament, the term Christian, when it was first introduced, was an insult towards followers of Jesus. It wasn't a moniker where they adopted it themselves and called themselves Christian. I think it kind of came later in the centuries to where, what, if you're going to make fun of me, then I'll just adopt it and own it, so that way you can't hurt me anymore with this horrible word called Christians.
Taking the power back.
Sure. I mean, we've seen it with lots of things culturally, racially over the years where something's a derogatory term and that, you know, group of people, you know, identify with it and wear it proudly now.
Nerd. Oh, thank God.
So no, I do not identify as a Christian. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
No, you don't adapt.
I don't identify as a liberal or a Democrat, so I feel you.
You get lumped into a category that you don't identify with?
Yeah, well, that one among many others, but I live on a busy street and my political opinions attract a certain amount of trash in my yard.
Right.
You know, we can hear you most of the time, right?
You can hear me all right, but I've got this annoying, and then people mentioned it at the start. I went and did a whole stream last week, and now I'm fucking about with that, and I'm not doing this, and that's... I'm very sorry. I apologize for this.
You should talk to somebody.
I've done 3 fucking streams to try and... Okay. How is my audio now? coming through.
You
No, I'm
sound
cutting it.
fine, friend.
You sound
I
fine to
don't
me.
There we go. How's that? Is that better?
For us or you?
No, I'm talking to the audience.
He's talking for the audience. He's still waiting for the audience to respond.
All right. Can't believe it's taking this long.
It was fucking sorted. And now there's an...
MathPig good. Everyone else has echo, according to DT.
How the fuck can I have echo?
So that has to be on MathPig's end, because since he doesn't have earpods in or headset on. So we're going through his thing and we're echoing back through the audience is what's going on. So it's Robbie's fault.
It is all my fault. I had the filter on. I had it set.
I am really glad we had this time together.
Okay, that should
I feel
be...
like we're having a moment.
If we mute him and he turns his sound off, we can just have a conversation without Robbie. We can run the show.
That just sounds rude.
Be
Who am I
chaotic,
to
right?
say?
Be chaotic.
Okay.
I'm always getting accused of taking over podcasts.
Well, it's just because you're very loud, Artie.
I can turn myself down.
Says
No,
that I'm
no,
clear
you-
now. So
Okay,
Maynard says that I'm clear now, and I think that you probably fixed it by now. And he just
I
froze.
hope that I
Oh, no.
fixed it. No, I'm not cutting out enough. The kick-in time is not right.
Kicking time saves 9.
I don't know. That's the best I can do right now. I thought it was grand. I'm not going to fix and fuck about and do all this. And...
Artemis sounds like a quacking fucking duck, somebody said.
Oh, that's nice. I'm fucking recovering from COVID and you're going to call me a duck.
I'm not practicing being a boomer.
Actually,
Fucking
I got
agent
this
last
voice from
week.
blowing your mom last night.
Sometimes that's not a good thing to say, Artie.
Not here to be
Well, I
popular.
know you can barely hear me, DT. I was muted.
Oh!
That would be like barely fucking hearing me because I'm muted.
You've been muted the whole time and didn't know?
I mean, if I was the echo, I was muted myself, and y'all worked it out, okay?
But
So
you've been muted the whole time.
Yes, the whole
Not
time.
the whole time.
I haven't heard a
Well.
single word from you.
The whole time you've been in here, though, right?
Not the whole time I've been in here. I said hello. Did you not hear that?
I didn't
No,
hear you
I-
say hello.
Oh, well, hello. Hello there.
Hello.
This is falling together great.
What name shall I call you?
What? Call me Rex.
Okay,
That's my
cool.
name.
Oh, that's cool. I just want to make sure, because I know you were a fan of mine back in the day.
Was I? Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
I know you weren't.
Right. How about that now? The mic is closer to me. Everything is turned down. What about that? That's the best I can do. I do apologize. We're just going to have to deal with that.
Hey.
And
It's good enough. We hear you fine.
I know
Is
you
there
all
still
hear me
help?
fine. I swear to God. You see the StreamYards people telling me that they all hear me fine. Two
Uh,
different
they
things.
don't
That just
listen
drives
to
my
them.
fucking
Does
head.
anybody else think it looks like he's wearing a cravat?
Somebody says they're going to go get Jill to join this panel just to round it
Oh
down.
my God! Look, I'll leave.
Yeah, I can.
If
walk
Jill's coming here, I'll go elsewhere.
So
Wesley.
is this Wesley or Eliakim?
Eliakim means God raises him. That's not my name yet. That will be my new name Jesus gives me on the day I go to heaven.
Oh, this guy.
My name is Wesley Curry II. So here is my howling, as written in Zephaniah, the howling of the second, the cry of the noise of the fish gate. I'm the second in that verse.
Canon, apparently.
Wait a minute. Let me hit my bong and go grab a beer, and then maybe I'll be ready. for
Okay.
this.
Whatever
So-
it takes to settle the nerves.
Saturday shenanigans, man.
I
Alcohol.
started that an
drugs,
hour and
drugs.
15 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
This might actually be my first sober show. Not that I'm sober by any means, but my first sober show.
Thank you
Sober-ish.
for coming in.
Yeah, you're sober-ish.
Well, no, I'm saying I haven't had alcohol today.
All right, okay. I was gonna say that's got to be the sober you're talking about. If you're not
Yeah.
Like usually by now is when I'm like, hey, work day is done, time to enter into a cocktail, hanging out with the family, enjoying my life. My wife's smoking a bowl, we're having a good time.
Oh,
But
speak of,
I didn't want to get loaded prior to coming on and meeting all you wonderful people.
Why?
You needed to
Because
put
some
up
people
with
have
all
a problem because some people have a problem when I can't follow the conversation or I hear something wrong and then I reply to it incorrectly.
I gotta be honest with you. I have killed those voices in my head.
I got to be sharper tonight to leave no
Right,
doubt.
right.
Like if there's
Then
something,
whom? You have to be smarter than what?
see, at
I'm
least
going
that
to
way
move
I
on
have.
from this. Right, we're going to move on from this. Hopefully, I am fucking better now. The mic is there.
I feel like this is going really well, Robbie.
yeah.
I have used down that low. I can barely hear you when I speak. Just 1 second. Let me. Right.
Well, hey, I have to get the voices in my head fucked up so they'll shut up. And then finally, it's just me for now. They'll wake up eventually. But
I tell myself to shut the fuck up all the time.
oh yeah, hey, look, I'll shut the fuck up right now. Hey, look, Wes, go for it. I guess.
Right. No, I'm gonna ask a question. Right. It's my show now. Right. Recently, one of the reasons I wanted to get John on was of an accusation that was thrown. Now, I'm not going to mention the accusation, right? But it drives a topic and a thought in my mind, right? And we will use a person on the interwebs that most of us, right? If you had the ability to change the situation in where they live, right? In their situation with that person, to make their life better, to get them off the drink and the coke and all the rest of it. If you had the ability to change that situation, even though they didn't want to, would you do it? And I'll throw that to John to start with a yes or no, and we'll go around the panel. We'll dive a wee bit.
So no explanation, just yes or no to start.
Just yes or no, yeah. If you had the ability to change someone's life against their will, to know that they were to stop drinking and stop taking coke and they would be a better person after, would you do it against their will?
Yes.
Artie,
No.
Clockwork.
No, but there's a long-winded answer to that. But yeah, no.
We'll come around. And Wesley, what about you?
Yes, and I shall. Jesus, show them how you're going to turn all the drugs into dust and what you're going to have me do for you. He's going to send me to all the drug cartels, telling the vision of the valley. And I'm going to ask Jesus to turn all the drugs, all the cocaine,
the best cartels.
dust. And Jesus is going to do that. All the marijuana to dust.
Okay,
Wesley, you
Hold
missed
on,
the point of
Wesley.
yes or no.
Yeah,
I have
that
a question.
was a
Okay.
little more than
Yes, I am going.
that was a little fucking more than yes or no.
Yeah, is this fanatically what you intend to continue to do?
He come to preach. He come to preach.
Any chance we can get some brevity out of y'all?
No, Wesley,
Yeah.
I've muted you, Wesley. I'm sorry, right?
And sometimes people can't follow simple instructions.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Right, I'm going to save John to the end because he gave a yes, right? I'm going to unmute you, Wesley. Keep it in fucking check.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to do something about it. All of it.
Right.
You
Artie,
person.
Fucking ominous, wasn't it?
I've lost control. I've lost control. Artie, right? You're at the top of the panel. Give us your
Well, I
reason
am.
for...
I'm
Give
just
us your
riding
reason for-
shotgun here.
John, you're worse than Wesley.
I am a staunch fan of people having what they want happen in their lives rather than what anybody else might want to happen for them.
Okay. That's justifiable. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with
I mean, to be fair, the first thing that came to my head was I would go to that friend and say, "I have this power. Are you interested?" And if their genuine answer was no, then my answer is also no. So my answer was no.
Yeah, I'm not going to force my will on anybody else. Hell, I can barely take care of myself. How am I going to take care of you?
I'm not as impressive as I think I am, but I am thoroughly impressed with myself.
Well, I'm fairly awesome myself.
Right.
But
To
you,
take that ability, right? To take that example I gave him, what Artie said, and rush that to the extreme. Then, so if you had the ability to just go in and fix a problem,
well, I know who you're talking about there, MP. I know who you're talking about, Pig. There's no fixing. There's no fixing that situation.
I don't know
but
what
if you
he's
had,
referring
if
to.
we
You
take
want
it
to
to
care
the
to share?
extreme, and you had a magic power that just fixed that, would you?
If I could make a wish and fix the world, well, yeah, okay.
No, not the word. I'm talking a specific thing. Even if the person said no, I'm trying to take the small example I had and bring it to the extreme. Now you got a magic power that can just fix a problem, fix that problem. Would you, even though the person said don't want it?
I think what we're looking at is a Robbie that has some kind of magical cure for a friend that some of us are aware of, and he's asking us whether or not he should use that power. I think that's what we're looking at.
Well, I mean, that's still forcing your wishes on someone else.
Well, what it means is that he's a fucking witch.
Right. So it comes down to them, right?
Wizard,
You
Gary.
take that.
He's a wizard.
You are fucking over talking too, Clockwork. You're fucking just
Oh,
as bad.
sorry, man. You can backstage me if you want to.
No, I'm not backstaging. No. What I'm saying is, even though you know that that person's life would be better afterwards, you wouldn't do that because it's against their will.
Yeah, that was the point of me saying no.
That's for you, Rex.
Close enough. Yeah. It's not for me to choose for you. You have to choose for yourself, or it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're under the impression. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah, I was.
No. That's cool. Over to you, John. Whenever you're ready.
Well, I want Rex to finish his point. I didn't realize he wasn't done. Finish first, Rex.
Oh well, I mean, I can choose for me, and I can do for me and control what happens around me half-ass. Control's an illusion. So yeah, it's kind of, I can't make you better. I might want you to be a better person and you know, get through all this shit and come out the other side a stronger, healthier person. But a lot of people don't make it. They get crushed under the weight of it. So I mean, I can wish and hope and pray and please angels come down and fix his ass. It's not gonna happen.
But that wasn't the question either. Remember, that wasn't the question.
Could I do it if I could do it?
We'll not worry about Rex's answer. John, you give me yours now. Go on.
All right. So I'll respond partially to what Rex said. So he said, "Control's an illusion." I agree 100% with him. But he was given the power to control and influence by making a change to somebody against their will. And my position of yes, I would do it is, I believe that human beings are largely programmed to be what they become anyways. So if somebody is unhealthy or, you know, not optimally working biologically, cognitively, experientially, or emotionally, then to impose will that fixes or corrects those imperfections or those shortcomings within inside their processes would be a positive thing for that person, regardless if they think it would be beneficial for them, because they can't think that it would be beneficial because there's already some imperfect that's driving them towards, you know, unhealthy behavior.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Their thoughts are not, do you want to be better than you were yesterday? Well, apparently, no, you want to be worse than you were yesterday.
Yeah, or do you care to be better than you were?
Yeah, we can try to be better than we were. Hey, I might fall down and break my noggin. And then, you know, but yeah, some people do not care. They do not have it within them to care.
But don't you think that's programmed too? That
Well,
life just beat their ass down so much that they become hopeless?
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Programmed. Would you define being programmed? You're talking about being programmed by your experiences that you had in the past.
100%.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
to clarify on the word programming, not someone come down with a computer.
Okay,
I know.
exactly. I'm talking about experiential, episodic, and semantic memories. And You know, you didn't choose who your fucking parents were. You didn't choose what area of the world you grew up in. You didn't choose what schools you were going to go to, who those friends and teachers and influences would be. And you got programmed the way the fuck that you got programmed. Free will is a myth. It's an illusion.
That's again, I don't know if like you can make choices. You believe that we make
The
our own
ability
choices
to
on our
make
life on the
choice.
planet.
I agree. The ability to make choice is a determinate effort from internal processing of the stimulus that comes in. So you see the world, sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell, and then you process that information through biological, cognitive, experiential, and emotional means that are what they are in that moment in time based on all the pre-programming that's gone on through life experiences in healthy ways, not healthy ways, positive, negative, and traumatic experiences. And then your output, which is your actions, behaviors, decisions, and choices, body language, and expressions, is going to be the one thing it is in that moment. It's an inevitable conclusion from internal processing.
Right, just to address the chat, told many a time, no, not getting on. Sorry, leave it at that. You're welcome to talk in the chat. That's the. So, to a point, yes, I would agree that what we've experienced in our past has been shown that people who have traumatic pasts have people who have been expelled from school, higher chance of being in prison and things. There is data to show all these things. So, to a point on that, I would agree with the word program.
What the hell is
John-
pipe so hard?
That's definitely
So
not
the
me.
question, right? The question then becomes, right? How would you describe that? Would you describe that as trying to?
Unless it's Wes. Might be Wes.
Wes
Where's
is
he got the
typing.
keyboard?
He's to mute his ass again.
I guess he's fighting. I guess he's fighting with somebody in the chat. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
right.
not-
So I take the
I was
question, right?
thinking about-
Oh
Okay.
shit, that's funny.
Well, I just thought about what John said. If that's messenger,
I am, yeah.
okay. That's pretty good, man. We're based on what we've experienced and what we know and have learned in our lifetime. But it's also genetic too. We're genetically predisposed to do certain types of things.
Okay. Doesn't take from one because the other exists.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination. They work together, kind of, or they break. It depends on how it all.
Well,
Yeah.
if I can get control of the chat again, taking John's taking John's answer, right? Where it's a yes, and Wesley's answer is a yes. Is what they're doing a bad thing necessarily? Like, you've obviously said no, Artie. Clockwork, you've obviously said no. Messenger and Wesley have yes. Do you think what they're doing then is a bad thing? Would you describe that as a bad thing? Hello, Brojo. I'll throw that at Artie since he's thinking the most, looking like he's thinking the.
God damn my face.
Oh, Artie, I've seen you before.
It's the last fucking time you see my eyes, you prick. All right. I fall back on my original answer. I mean, in a perfect world, you can let me answer now that you can't see my fucking eyes. You don't know how to read the room.
Well, answer the question I'm giving now, not the one from 10 minutes ago. But go on.
You tell me what you want me to say, Bucky.
Not the same answer you give to a different question, right? Do you think what they're doing is bad? Do you think that their decision is a bad decision? Now, I know you disagree with it, but is it a bad thing to then do that? You have a person who's maybe better in society.
By virtue of the fact that you know I disagree with it, and presumably my answer is coming from a place of love because it's a friend of mine.
But no. In general, I'm just talking in general. You know, the idea of doing something and helping a person against their will. Oh, Fabio's in the background. I'd love to have Fabio in. Wesley, I'm going to put you backstage.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the same time, but at the same time, I think if you don't take action, aren't you the fucking asshole who didn't help your friend and could have?
Well,
Okay. But I will happily explain to somebody why I made that decision.
So you're going to justify not
No.
giving a fuck.
That's neither of those things are true. I'm not trying to justify it, nor did I not give a fuck.
But you see how I'm painting you into a corner and being hyperbolic about it.
no, yeah, you're trying.
I
That's a
actually,
good effort.
I don't feel quite so painted as you think I might.
Well, I didn't get to the good stuff yet.
Okay, so that's it.
Well, I
Yes,
mean-
bad. Don't do cause bad, you know.
Yeah.
No,
see,
no,
it's-
like my argument would be for that, Artie, if you chose not to, I would say that's a perfection in your biological, cognitive, experiential, and emotional processes that have made you an insecure and unhealthy person that wouldn't be willing to override those.
and I would say that
tendencies not to help
yours
somebody.
have made you a narcissist who can't keep their mouth shut.
But if narcissism was true, I would lack complete empathy for the understanding and reasoning for why somebody
That's
wouldn't
not
want to
a
do something.
diagnosis of narcissism.
Well,
That's
I'd
not-
say I'm more qualified to diagnose a narcissistic personality disorder than you are.
Yeah, that kind of is a diagnosis of narcissism. I dated a narcissist.
Right.
Relax.
Okay. Before this devolves,
Trust me, I'm
devolves
well
into a
aware.
back and forth,
Wait.
and I'm smarter than you.
Look,
'cause I
I'm
have
go
a piece
here.
of paper. Right, Rex. I swear to God, shut the fuck up, Rex. Gonna have to like.
I'm just saying that I actually have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. I actually practiced as a therapist. I actually
Promise
diagnosed
you I
people
don't give
with
a fuck what
many
you're
different
saying right now.
personality disorders.
We don't.
So
care.
whether
Nobody
you
cares
care or not about what I'm
outside
saying,
voices.
my point is this: regardless of me,
You were
regardless of you thinking that I'm arrogant enough to make the statements that I do, that is not a deflection to pull out a term like narcissist to win favor with an audience or to paint me into a picture of something.
Oh, I'm
that's not
sorry.
true.
Is that what you thought was happening?
Well, I thought that's what your attempt was. I don't think
You
it's
did.
actually happening.
Okay, before this
Now you
devolves,
seem defensive.
before this devolves into
I have the
a
right to
back
defend
and
myself
forth
if what
of
you're
not
saying isn't
liking
accurate.
Each other and winding each other up. On topic, I'd like to know Fabio's opinion to the question.
Me too,
that we-
Bobby. I haven't seen Fabio in like a year. I love you so much.
Hey mate, how you doing?
Quite well, thank you.
So the question was if I could change somebody's behavior, whatever, for the better, whatever, if I would
Against
do
their
it.
will, would you?
Yeah, totally.
Right. And can you give a reason and then why? Because I'm under the impression
Because
that
we do
you
it-
are
we
the
do it
only
anyway.
atheist.
We-
You're
we-
the only
because
person
we-
who's not a God-fearing Christian who has said yes. Could you give your reasons behind it?
Because we do it anyway. We do it every day. We always try to change people around you, you know, in a way or the other. Most of the time we do it for our own gain, and you know, doing for that guy's benefit, it's an added plus. But we do it anyway. We do it with our kids, we do it with our sons, you know, the colleagues. We try to influence them and eventually change them something that we don't like. So yeah, and the fact, so and also the fact that I would do it against his will, to me it's a bonus because I'm a cunt. So yeah.
It makes it so much easier.
Okay, right.
And
Well,
so-
I would say
One
you
less
did
thing to
mention
worry
the
about.
kids and stuff though, but that, you figured this out at the end. I wanted to just bring the difference by saying influencing with your kids and stuff. That's not direct control, but you did. Yeah, fuck them. I'm a cunt. Yeah. So there's your reasoning for doing it against someone's will. Marty, you haven't got to give an answer. Would you be a yes or a no?
Well, I actually lived this. I had this experience. My ex-husband, excuse me, my ex-husband was a functioning alcoholic, and he had to drink every day. I tried to get him to do so many different things to try and get help. Go to AA, go to therapy, try this, try that, do this, do that, and he just didn't want it, so I gave up. I would try up to a point for somebody, but if somebody's not working with me, then if you don't want my help, then forget about it. I don't then I lose empathy for you because you're not trying to help me help you make yourself better.
Yeah, help me help you. If you can't,
Well, yeah.
if you can't, you're just
But,
dragging
so
me down
you're
with you.
saying, Marty, that you used to be a yes, but you're now a no.
Look,
No, I'm saying I will try to help somebody help themselves, and if they don't want, if
I
then I
can't
give
address
option.
Messenger in the backstage, Messenger, if you go back to icon, you should be able to come back in, but you've disconnected something. I think you're trying to get the camera going. Put the icon back up again. You might be able.
Did he drop out?
No. He tried to. I think he's been trying to get the camera going, and because you switch the camera on, sometimes you know yourself, it kicks you.
Uh,
Well,
we
my whole point was, and I don't mean to dominate the conversation, but you can't help someone unless they want to be helped.
exactly that.
If
Yeah.
they don't
I
want to be
think
helped,
that was-
If we can, because hold on. Before we go off on this, it is a general premise, right? This is what I'm going to ask to. Is what you're doing manipulation then? The people who said yes on the panel, would that be manipulation?
Yeah, but not all
You use the word
manipulation.
manipulation.
Not all manipulation's bad. We associate that word with a form of abuse, but that's not always bad. If I'm trying to manipulate my alcoholic husband to get help,
but
is that
did it work?
no?
Okay,
He's
there's your answer. There's your answer. No.
right after his work closed down and he wasn't so stressed out, then he stopped drinking. But there was nothing that I was going to do to be able to help facilitate that. He was stonewalling me at every chance he could.
This is a situation where we're magic, so it's a little different.
For your what?
We have Jesus powers in this one. We can fix anything with whether they want us to or not.
Oh. Hi.
Oh well. Okay.
Messenger, are you back and working?
I think I'm back. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you tried to put your camera on, did you?
Yeah, my Yeti disconnected. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like I said,
Yeah,
I got
no,
this
I
Mickey Mouse
was-
setup going on.
I was trying to say that I think in general, Messenger and I and Rex and I think in general we agree that if a chump wants your help, you give him the help. Chump don't want no help. Chump don't get no help.
Yeah.
The way that I disagreed with that is I'm suggesting if we have this ability to help somebody, then we also have the ability to recognize that it's something that does need helping. And
but by the same token, you also said that the outcome was inevitable, and no matter what you do to fix the situation in any amount of temperate kind of sense, ultimately, because of who they are, they're going to be that person.
not necessarily, because if I change something cognitively, experientially, emotionally, or biologically within them that's damaged, unrepaired, unhealed,
See, now
and
you're
damaged,
adding to the thought
but
experiment,
that's-
and I'm
but
not
that's-
on. I have had way too many beers to be.
they
that
said if
fucking
we
sober.
had the ability to change something, change means fucking change. You change internal processing and you change response.
Okay, well,
Have-
I
have
didn't
you-
give it the amount of depth of thought that you did. Apparently, I just my
Again,
reaction was purely
I get
intellectual and emotional.
I get it completely, and I don't disagree. Like I'm not going, gee, you're fucking wrong, Artie. I'm like,
That's why I say,
well,
I
based on your
think-
knowledge
I
and
think
experience, you're coming from a different position than I am.
I think ultimately we agree. I just think I'm taking your premise.
Yeah, we all see it differently. It's like looking through a glass darkly. We all see different things. We watch the same event happen, like a car crash or something, or something blowing up. All three of us will describe it differently. All of us, all six of us, would give a different description. Yeah,
Of course, because we're
It
all
happens so
programmed
fast.
very different.
It happens
Yeah.
so slow.
I've just been reprogramming myself for 20 plus years, and most people don't.
Oh, I've had.
oh, shit, the
to
army
address that, Joe.
reprogrammed me. So yeah,
I believe a lot of people mindlessly go through their walks on earth not realizing that programming occurs. And until you realize that truth, you keep thinking the world's at fucking fault for how you feel and your disposition in
Matthew.
life.
Right, now here's
That's
an
just not the
example of
truth.
this, right? I'm going to give a wee anecdotal example and deliberately interrupt Rex to give him a taste of his own medicine.
Robbie, you are a little bit quiet for us.
And yeah, no, it's fine now. I've been muted. Right, there you go. Should be working now. Muted my fucking mic because I was using my keyboard. Right, here's an anecdotal story. Okay, I'm gonna see if Messenger agrees with it and see what other people on the channel agree with it. Right, my wee girl. Yes, I love talking about her, but it's wonderful watching a brain grow, being able to help influence that, and not an experiment, but all kids are. But she tells me that did I ever notice how people shiver when they're cold? I told her yes. Very simple term. That's because our muscles are contracting and, you know, trying to warm up by friction, getting warm and creating that heat to warm us up. Hi, Dougie. Right. Now, she told me that after a wee small period of time, that doesn't happen to her because she can do this thing where she thinks that she's warm and she just shakes it off and she doesn't shake anymore. Now, I portrayed to her that that's an example of her controlling her brain, and her brain is what's in her body. So if she controls her brain, her thoughts, she can do anything. Now, when it comes to brushing her hair, that is a massive, I don't want to use the word trauma, but she breaks down. She doesn't like her hair getting brushed. She hates the tats. Like, it is the most insane thing. I've watched her run into a wall and like cut her arm and stuff and not care. But you get one tat in her hair. And I've tried to take what she does with the shivering and the cold and apply that control of her mind and her thoughts to the hair. Now, one could describe that as her making an effort to reprogram herself. Would people agree with that statement, yes or no? Her hair,
I would.
as in her fucking this stuff, Brojo. Fuck my
Yeah.
accent.
Her. I knew what
So
you were
does
talking
anyone
about
agree
when you
that
said
that's her
her.
trying to reprogram herself? Would John,
No,
would
I'm-
you consider
agreeing
that
with
to be
you.
an example of her trying to reprogram herself?
I would say it's not a direct thing, but what she would be taking action to do would affect that. And we do that stuff through exposure therapy, so to say. So when you're talking about is she doing that? Yes. Is she intentionally doing that with that intention? Probably not.
She is trying.
But I'm saying that
I
she's
think
not
she
applying it to all.
intentionally-
She's not looking at it in the concept of all things of, oh, I'm programming myself to have a different outcome. She's just
No, she's fucking-
It's not an all things thing. That's a specific pain source for people with a specific
I would agree.
brain set. It's not like a all encompassing. Take this thing that I'm helping you understand about yourself and apply it to everything that hurts. I don't think that's I don't think that's the level of reprogramming that we're talking about.
Well, at the
I
same
think
time,
we're
I was
talking
like,
about-
is she- but what
I
I
think
what
we're
I see
talking
in
about
that,
the hair
what-
pull.
but what I see what you're discussing seems more conditioning than reprogramming. That's all I'm trying to say. You're conditioning an external sensory input more so than you're reprogramming an internal process that's biological, cognitive, experiential, or emotional from the inside. That's why I'm differentiating it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
think the differentiation is pedantic, but I just like to use that word.
You're
Define
going back to, I
pedantic.
get to be a cunt.
Oh,
so I win.
Pedantic twattery.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me the origin?
I
what-
revel. in
Where did that
pedantic
come from?
Oh,
What-
Yeah,
God.
What is the
define
etymology
pedantic
of the
in a
word?
pedantic way, please.
Yeah.
Pedantic. P-O-D-O.
No, PE.
I think it's PE because it's foot related.
Clockwork, you've been holding it in and I know it's difficult. Would you like to unmute and throw something out there?
Oh, well, no, I was looking for something. It's the Shaolin monks will go sit on a cliff in the Himalayas, and the cold does not affect them at all. They'll
Yeah,
sit there
it's-
for
That
hours.
yeah.
Yeah, and they can
So, I
actually
mean, yeah.
dry wet sheets with their own body heat.
Yeah, they're like
We can
steaming.
all do that in the fucking
But-
desert.
I do that every day. Have you seen how hot
The desert.
sexy?
No,
Well,
I'm not. I
you
wouldn't
can.
really.
It's an ideal place to use your body heat to try something out. Go to the
They're
desert
doing
at
this
night.
shit when it's
Well, you
freaking
know.
ice cold.
Okay,
Hey, baby.
More,
Yeah.
isn't it more about the relative humidity than the temperature?
A wee shout out to Dougie Doug, right? If anyone just likes chill outs and hangouts and stuff like that, then can be not as deep as they've put it conversations over there, but good fun crack. You get to know nice people. Some guy was flashing his bull snake at me last week. Dougie's is good.
Flashing his
Flashing his balls. He was flashing his balls.
His bull at me.
Oh, can you
Oh,
speak English, please?
I thought he
I
said ball.
speak the Queen's English.
I gotta go take a leak and grab some beer, but I
Stop
wanted
speaking Irish, okay? Irish doesn't work for me.
It's Ulster Scots.
I wanted to represent this beautiful piece of.
That's an opossum.
I love possums. They're cute.
They're
They are
delicious.
marsupials, yes, or possums.
Live weird.
marsupials.
Marty, you got some poor taste in animals. That is not a cute animal at
They are
all.
cute when they're small, but they grow ugly very quickly.
I think possums are cute and they're necessary because they don't get rabies and they eat ticks and
That's
bugs.
not what I said.
Now you're moving the goalposts, Marty. You move from ugliness to fucking valuable.
Hey, look, fuck a raccoon, okay? A raccoon will get in your garbage and spread it all over hell and everywhere. Just saying. Yeah, so fuck a raccoon.
Oh, that's cute too.
They're
When I
furry.
went to America, there was a possum in the tree out the back when we were in St. Louis. I think it was Paddy the possum.
Oh, shit. They gave it a name.
They
See?
are marsupials, yes. Did anyone answer me in that? Sammy!
Yeah, you see me? Come on in.
Seems kind of racist that you decided it was an
We
Irish
need
possum.
to fix this fucking 6 people hang out in me.
You sound bitter. Again,
Fabio.
I think you should
Mhm.
talk to
Have
somebody.
you any thoughts from that you would like to throw at Messenger? Do you know Messenger? Do you know of Messenger? You've been around, but I know they're not very important.
No, actually, I don't think I've ever met him. Yeah.
That's been
No,
a
no,
few
I mean,
years.
I was listening to him, before it was quite interesting when he was talking about basically the free will thing. Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I mean, I see his point, right? I am more inclined to, instead of a super deterministic thing, I'm more inclined to a stochastic point of view. And
No.
I know, I mean,
No.
yeah. I mean, I know that it might sound like me trying to get out of the problem, but but I'm quite sincerely convinced that the whole thing is more stochastic rather than super predetermined by influx and processes that you were talking about. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I see his point. It's not that I can say I'm right, he's wrong, and I don't think he can say it either. But yeah,
So you're still saying that you lean more deterministic than you do with, free will or libertarian free will. Is that correct?
yeah, kinda, I mean, I'm
mean,
not
human.
I'm not super convinced that there is. I don't want to. I mean, I probably got you wrong. So I'm not really super into the fact that everything is predetermined because of the process that happened, and and they determine a certain outcome. The fact that we don't see it, we perceive as as free will being there. I'm not determined that there is this correlation is so strict that it never changes. If you were omniscient and whatever, you could determine every outcome because you know everything which come before, right?
Well, I don't think it's so much about your ability to make choice or to change choice as it is the things that go into your four processes. So you take your physiology or your biological makeup. Those things kind of are what they are. They either work or they don't work with neurotransmitters, hormones,
Yeah.
your level of intellect, your ability to not feel, pain, or, people who get illnesses and the effects that has on the body and brain,
Right.
or judgment and decision. And then when I look at cognitive functioning, I'm talking about your knowledge, which is your provable truths. I'm talking about your beliefs, which are your non-provable truths. And of course, ignorance, what you just don't know. And then leaning into experiential, we all have semantic and episodic memories. Those things can be positive, negative, or traumatic in their nature based on how we cognitively process through those experiences. And then from there, those three things are dictating how you feel emotionally in regard to a stimulus that's being there in the present moment. And we know when emotions intensify and get heightened, thinking and reasoning goes out the fucking window, and it impacts cognitive reasoning. So these four processes all interacting with each other at any given moment in time cannot be any different than they are in that moment in time until new experiences and new times and events and things change things within us.
No. Again, I said I get what you're saying, and I might even agree with that. I'm not really buying completely into that. What I'm saying is that I think that there might be a way out of that if those processes, if the chain is not automatic, if you get what I mean. So I think that when you get to a certain point, you have a probability that something happens, right? And it is higher or lower, and sometimes it's really low, but I think there is still a chance that something happens. Like for example, I'm not making a stupid example. I'm having a pen and I'm letting it down, it will fall down, right? But I think that there is a chance, a probability that it doesn't really happen the way it's supposed to be happening, right? So it is falling down, but so the outcome is not. You cannot determine the exact outcome every time.
That's because you're lacking information that you would need to be able to make that predictive call.
No.
It's reasonable to find a place where you stop creating variables that can affect the outcome. But by the same token, you can't say that the one solution to the determinism is the only solution, because there are myriad variables that you can't even consider that might affect that outcome. So I'm determinism within a level of probability.
Mine is not a solution to determinism, right? What I'm just saying is that there are some phenomena in the world, like radioactive decay, which are not dictated by the fact that it has to happen, right? You have a stochastic probability that this is going to happen, and it will happen, but it will not happen the way you're supposed to. You cannot determine exactly when it's going to happen, right? So
yeah, well, we know what.
But is that because you can't? But you don't have the knowledge to understand what it is that you're evaluating.
No. In this phenomenon exactly, radioactive decay, knowledge has nothing to do with that.
I'm saying your ability to predict its outcome is what I'm talking about. What if you just don't know enough about radioactive decay to predetermine how it's going to, interact? And I don't know shit about this. I'm just talking in general.
I understand what you're saying, John. We don't have enough knowledge. Given enough time, we'll figure it out. What I think that Fabio's trying to put across is this is a proven phenomenon. Not that we'll never figure it out, but it is currently random.
Right. We can figure it out. This much is going to change over this span of time. But what you're asking us to establish is why that's a thing. If we don't already know, if we know, that's just the best we can do.
But I'll bet you data from the next generation would fucking know exactly why that happens.
It's like Planck time.
Listen, I don't know. You might be right, Messenger. You might totally be right. I'm just saying that right now, the status we are right now, if you have, if you have two particles, right? And you know that the half time of...
You have a boy particle and a girl particle.
You know that the half time radioactive decay of these elements is like 1 day. You know that in 1 day, one of those particles will lose its potential. potential, will not be radioactive. The thing that you don't know is which one.
But how does that have
And you
anything to
cannot
do with
know that.
humanistic determined behavior?
I'm talking from a hunch. The fact that in the real world we can observe phenomena that are not deterministic but stochastic makes me feel, I'm more inclined to feel that the whole thing is not super deterministic. That's all I'm saying.
But when I'm talking about super determinism, I'm not even talking about physics, astrophysics, quantum realm, shit that I don't fucking understand. I'm talking about something that's very known, which is human behavior, why we do what we do. Something that I've studied and have an intense background on for the last 2 decades.
Well,
No, but
I mean,
again, we're coming from. I understand we're coming from different backgrounds, and I agree. I mean, I'm willing to concede that what I'm saying does not apply to the field that you're talking about, right? So I'm totally fine with that, because I think we come from different background. My point of view is that I'm trying to look at the things that I know the same way that you look at the things that you know, and you infer your hypothesis, and what you think, right? What I know is a little bit different, and I try to apply what I know of the real world, to my experience, and I come to slightly different conclusions, which are not that far from each other.
But the argument that I would make against that, Fabio, is that what you're discussing with your field, you're still doing it in part. You're still considering it in part and going, hey, here's the relationship I'm drawing between this. And I think it's drawing illusory correlations between 2 unrelated things. And that I get you're trying to draw a connection to it, and you're trying to connect it in a way with, hey, well, let me talk about a subject that most people don't know about. But you still don't have conclusive facts. I can prove through scientific evidence that what I'm saying is accurate if we sat down, drew shit out on a whiteboard, brought up research papers, and went through the stuff in detail.
Look, we're not going to go through the whole.
That's not my point. Rex, that's not my point. Rex, that's not my point. My point is he's saying, I know this like you know that. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Well, I know astronomy better than probably everybody else on this panel. Does that make me an expert? Do I have a doctorate in fucking astronomy? No, I do not.
Do you have a degree in astronomy?
I have studied it since I was 8 years old. Okay, point finished.
But do you have a degree in astronomy? Did you practice?
No, I just said no. I do not have any kind of degree. I started.
I have a degree in sociology and in telecommunications. So all of this is my fucking realm.
Well,
You're talking on technology that didn't exist when I studied this shit.
Yeah, I mean, my parents gave me a telescope when I was 8 for Christmas. That started me down the path of loving space and the stars. Do I have a degree? No, I do not. But I know more than you do about it, I'm pretty sure.
I would agree.
I did a year in Queens doing astrophysics, physics, and...
But if you're trying to talk to me about psychology by relating it to astronomy, I would say you're going off on a tangent that's not related. That would be my only point.
How small?
Well, you might say that because of your lack of familiarity with the concept.
Yeah. How small are
it has nothing to do with that. I'm saying they're not related. So why are we moving a goalpost?
Related. See, there you go.
If I'm talking about human behavior, why you do what you do in the inner.
If you're talking about human behavior, where the fuck does the word can't get involved?
Where does it get involved? I'm saying what you're talking about specifically is you're trying to draw a conclusion that, hey, because I have this relevant knowledge about something else, I can make a argument about what you're saying about human behavior. And I'm like, unless you talk about human behavior directly, no, the fuck you can't. You don't have an ability to, because you've moved the conversation from human behavior to something fucking completely unrelated. And that's your fucking problem.
Is it unrelated?
It is unrelated.
Okay, fair enough. In your opinion, it's unrelated. Okay,
in my fact, it's unrelated. You're comparing fucking apples.
Okay, in your facts.
You're comparing apples to oranges. Somebody wants to talk about astronomy.
I was even willing to talking about cooking.
If somebody was talking about astronomy and then you start talking about cooking,
couldn't begin
Again,
to
let me
give a
finish instead of
fuck
talking
about
over
what.
me.
I,
'cause
no, I
that's not gonna get
really.
anywhere.
The pedantry is just off
Talking
the
over,
scale.
talking over somebody
The
doesn't make you right.
pedantry is off. The irony is off the scale.
I would say you're
Okay.
a hypocrite.
The
and you're
irony
right.
is just really mind-popping.
Conversation.
I can understand that it's
Conversation.
triggered.
Conversation goes both ways. Okay? Both ways. It's two mono chats not working. Messenger says something, Artie respond, fucking chill. Right.
Well, I'm sorry I triggered everybody.
Oh. You do try though, to be fair. You will admit that
You
you do
literally
run your way
said that
sometimes.
When
You're-
people become
you're fucking-
belligerent, you're goddamn right I will.
Right, you get malignant when people become to. I get it. I do the same thing. But you did
Clearly.
mention at your introduction that you do have a way about your opinions.
Well, I get
And
that.
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know why
There's
you're in
no
love with
issue
the word triggered, but that's your.
I'm not in
situation.
love
That
with it. It's
maybe
just a
you should-
factual
well, you
word.
used
Artie,
a
give him
lot. I don't know if you noticed this about
Artie, give
yourself.
him a chance to respond. Seriously, you're
You
just
did?
you're doing a tirade. I'm not being rude, but you did make a statement and then another one, and he tried to respond. Please,
Sorry, I'll
conversation.
stop. You're right.
No one. These are also
Put your
fucking
arms down for
butthurt.
Christ's sake.
What the fuck is wrong with people now that you just like, dude, you're over talking, shut the fuck up, let someone else speak, and you all cry victim. What the fuck, like? Chill the fuck out. And that
Yeah.
goes to everybody. You all need to just chill and stop getting so fucking butthurt, like.
I want you to put your arms down. You got all fucking violent about it.
Oh, I'm just vexing because I'm so.
Somebody definitely thinks you're sexy. I have no doubt about it.
I'm just mad because I can't see his nipples.
No, it's turning into a different type of stream. Right. Anyway, we'll just accept that I'm hot and move on. That's fine. But you really need to stop getting so fucking butthurt. The whole idea of a moderator and someone to run the channel is to keep the conversation going. This isn't fucking Jill's channel where we just tirade with one person. Get a chance here. So, John, have you anything you would like to respond to Artie's wee fucking rant?
I don't remember all the
No, I
specifics
knew
of his
that. I
rant
couldn't
other
even
than
tell.
he
I did
got
not
triggered
actually
about the
do.
word trigger.
It's trigger inception. Did you know, right? We'll just do a complete tangent. I thought this is wonderful today. There's a mathematician that I follow online, and she has found the most mathematically satisfying place on the planet. It is, if I can get this right, it is an island on a lake, in an island in a volcano, which itself is an island on the ocean. It's like 5 times islands inside islands.
That's a lot
I
of
want to
sense.
go there. The very small island is big enough for 2 sheep. It's a very small island.
Do you
But
have
I wanna
somebody
go there.
backstage, Robbie,
Pardon?
waiting to get in here? I said, do you have somebody backstage waiting to get in here? This AI person or whatever?
I have
I
never
thought
met them
Island
before.
for 2 sheep was an Australian thing.
Right. Well, I have no icon, a name I've not heard, and I don't
Okay.
take chances with people I don't know for you to come on and just pop a big penis.
They might be
So I
sexy.
pick an icon, talk in the chat. I much preferred to just see a real quick wave of a real person.
Well, I mean, artificial
free to
intelligence sounds kind of
justify
cool
you.
to me. That might be fun to
Pardon?
argue with.
Yeah,
AI,
I don't
artificial
ma-
intelligence?
I'm happy with bringing on strangers and stuff. I just don't want penis flashing on the screen. We'll take a chance. Who
Oh,
wants to take a backstage for a minute? Marty,
it's
you're
not the first
munching. Do
time
you
he's
mind?
told me to keep my penis off the screen.
Marty, you're munching. Do you mind if I put you backstage for a minute, let you finish your food?
Fair enough.
You
Look,
mind
look, you,
if I put you backstage while we take a chance on Mr. AI?
Oh yeah, I don't care.
I want to hear Rex defend Messenger's beer sobriety, alcohol sobriety. Just out of curiosity, I just want to see it happen because it sounds fun as fuck to me.
oh, we'll get to that. Hey, Sudhir, is that how you say that?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Hello. How are you?
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Sid here.
We
Nice to
should
meet you,
get
Sudhir.
you
Thank you for
we should
coming
get you something other than the default
I think if you are AI in the chat and you're asking what the debate about, we did start the debate with the idea of is manipulation of other people necessarily a good thing or a bad thing? No, in general with society or that individual person. What would you be your thoughts on that, Sadir? Am I saying your name correct?
Yeah. Well, are you guys religious?
Define religious.
I asked you a
Yeah.
direct question.
Yeah, that's
You brought up what the debate is about. I'm giving you the debate. Would you like to get involved in that? Some of us are religious, some of us aren't.
you
It's a
just
mixed
answer
bag.
the question we all have.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. What?
Yeah,
Anything deeper
Yeah,
than
that's
that?
my answer to the
Anything-
question.
So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
fine to
What-
it's fine to intervene without their consent. Is what you're saying?
well, are we religious? Was the question.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I'm kind of watching this kid
fine.
tell us.
Your answer to the question, though.
He
Which
wanted to,
religion
he asked to join and then he got all quiet.
No. He answered the question, which is it okay to do that? And he said it's fine. I think he was saying it's fine
did,
to
he
do.
did.
I was just trying
Could
to get
you
him
justify that then? Could you give us more detail? That's what we're having a discussion. If it was just an answer to a question, this would have ended a long time ago. It wouldn't be going.
We just had a poll online.
If you'll just let me talk. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with manipulating people. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Based on what?
What
Like,
would
give
be
more
wrong?
detail. Give more detail why you think it's okay. Like, defend your position or why you hold it to be true.
Or at least try. I mean, come on, man. You not get the premise at all?
Look, for example, you can manipulate people for their benefit.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
what parents
right.
do. mostly.
That would be the example you were
Right?
asking about.
Would you manipulate
another
them
example?
for their benefit if it was against their will? You would directly go against their will. They're happy being and doing what it is, but you go against their will and you manipulate the situation. We did take it to an extreme where you had a magic power, but would you go against their will and do that?
Yeah, sure, I would do that to make people convert to faith, for example.
So you would instantly convert people.
So you would
to
do
faith,
it
so you're
for a
bit of
religious conversion to a
Okay,
specific faith.
So you want a bunch of AI robots that obey. If you don't obey whatever I say, then you're not my fucking friend. That it says that in the Bible.
Well, Rex, what if he's saying that, hey, if we were all of the same faith, we wouldn't fight and argue and kill each other anymore?
Bullshit. We find a
Bullshit.
reason.
No, I'm saying that. I said,
No, I
I
disagree
didn't.
with
I
that
said,
as a premise.
what if his belief system is suggesting that that's the reason? I want to hear more of his explanation of why he would convert everybody to the same faith. I want to hear more detail so we have more context to it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll shut
Yeah,
up.
go on, Sadir. The floor is yours.
No,
Why
no,
should we all
please.
be the same faith?
Give him 5 minutes.
So why would convert everybody to the same faith is the
Yes,
question.
or your faith. I want to hear about your faith and why you would want everybody to believe the same as you do. So take your 5 minutes of soapbox.
Accidental. Sorry, accidental. I was just hovering above your button because I wasn't sure who you are. Didn't mean to click it. Apologies.
Nice work, Spaz.
Yeah. Can am I free to talk?
Go ahead.
That's the point of conversion, to get everybody to the same religion, which is my religion of Christianity.
Your version or the version?
But let him finish. Let him
The
finish.
version of the Bible.
But
Yes.
continue on with what you hold to be
Protestants,
true and
so-
why that's beneficial for everybody to hold to the same beliefs.
It's beneficial because everybody gets a moral sense of good versus wrong. Everybody shares that sense right now. You can see, a lot of good and wrong is ideals in this world today are very conflicting.
Well, let me challenge you. If we all originated, according to your Bible, from the original God, which means Adam and Eve were the first, and everybody that came from Adam and Eve were of God, where did it go stray? Where did it go wrong? And they were all of the same faith at one point. How did it get to the point where they weren't?
So first, are you trying to disprove my faith, or are you trying to
I'm
Prove their
asking
original
how
faith.
things went side, because you're saying convert everybody to the same faith. I'm like, everybody was of the same faith in the beginning. So if everybody was of the same faith in the beginning, everybody revered God, everybody followed the rules. Story about Cain came and he killed his brother because he was envious. How did things go wrong?
With evil.
But where did evil come from?
God.
No, did not come from God.
Where
Yes,
did evil
it
come
did.
from?
God didn't create evil.
Absolutely not.
Who created
Yes,
evil?
he did. He says so in the Old Testament. I created good.
Rex. Calm down.
Yeah, like we need to give him
Let him
time
exhaust
to
his own
answer. I'm
milk.
just
I mean, okay,
if
fair
three
enough.
people are
Look,
jumping
I'll
on with
shut
different thoughts, we're not going to get anywhere. So I'll shut the fuck up if you want to lead
No,
the
no, no.
conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's like
appreciating
we've
the
never read
conversation. I'm appreciating the conversation between John and Dear. If we could let that run for a wee minute, back and forth. I don't want to say
Well,
uninterrupted.
okay,
We'll wait.
okay, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. Damn, I don't
Fucking
have an
butt
opinion.
hurt motherfuckers again. Boo-hoo. Everybody's a
Everybody can
victim.
take their turn, but when you jump in with three people asking different questions and taking it in different directions, you fucking never get anywhere. And then people
Oh,
feel
my
defensive.
goodness.
So just let one person, I don't give a fuck if it's Robbie, Rex, Artie, who the fuck,
Rex,
but
you know I
let
love
one
you, man.
person go back and forth with them.
Sorry, John, if I can't interrupt you. Rex, you know I love you, but you and Artie are doing the same. I shouted at Artie a minute ago. I'm literally pointing out. I ain't justifying moderating the conversation. John, if you and Sadir could have a wee minute there, and we shall go with that.
Yeah,
So
have you,
I believe the last thing that happened was Artie said that it came from evil. And my question was, well, where did evil come from? And that's what I was kind of waiting for a response.
that's when I
for.
said God. That's what I actually said.
Right, but you know that that's not his position, so let's just hold off on doing that kind of sarcastic shit.
I'm
please.
sorry, I was speaking on behalf of the audience.
Are you leaving
Are
now
you
too?
Christian
Because if I
yourself,
tell you
John?
to shut the fuck up a minute, Artie.
John, are you Christian yourself?
I do not consider myself a Christian, but I do believe in the teachings of Jesus, which are his parables.
And he's not a narcissist.
Okay, so you believe there's good and there's wrong.
I do
and
believe
evil.
that good and bad, in the context that you
Yeah.
probably hold to, do exist. I look at them more from a standpoint of healthy and unhealthy.
All right.
So my question to you was still, where did unhealthiness come from? Where did, quote, evil come from that made this tribe of people who held to a specific belief system and faith all fall apart? And then if you
Well-
want to further take it into your Old Testament, just one more thing. According to the Old Testament, God continued to make covenant or relationship and agreement between mankind and himself, and they continued, his people of his faith continued to fuck it up every single time.
How did I know this was going to be a circle jerk?
That comes from evil.
But okay, it comes from evil. That is just an arbitrary statement that you're making. What is evil and where did evil come from? Because God
Right,
created
I was
all
just
things.
about to open the panel up to
Where
everybody
did
there.
evil
if we
come
can
from is
do
like
that
asking,
politely.
where did God come from?
God,
Evil,
seriously?
right?
But you're
You
answering
justify
questions with
what evil
questions.
is
Do you have
here. No,
answers?
I'm going to interrupt now. I'm gonna do this.
Calgon, take me away.
I can't answer where is God from, so I can't answer that question. Sorry.
But you believe that it exists.
Like I believe God exists, yes.
So you believe that God exists, you believe evil exists, you want everybody to be of the same faith, but the same faith is intertwined with good and evil. How is that beneficial with us all having the same faith then?
So that everybody has the same sense of good and evil.
So I think humanity in general has a good sense of good and evil, but people still choose to do evil and horrible things to each other. So even if we were of the same faith, how is that beneficial for us all to have the same faith?
What does good and evil look like without God?
Well, according to you, God is good, but God created all things, so he created evil too then, by that sense, yes?
I didn't say that. But first, can you please answer my question? What does good and evil look like without God?
What does good look like?
I don't
with
know
God?
because I don't believe in the God that you believe in. So I don't have a definition of what that supernatural version of it looks like.
What does it look like to you?
It doesn't look like anything to me because I don't believe in a supernatural God that created all things in the universe.
Bro, I'm just asking you what's good and evil. Can you not answer
No,
that
you're
question?
asking me about God, and I can't define that because I don't believe in it.
Good and evil. The words. Can you define them for me?
I just
What
good-
do
At
they
what
mean?
point?
Good,
Wait,
good
hang on.
is. Let me finish. No, you're interrupting again. Let me answer
Oh
the
God!
question.
Has it been
He's
15
asking
minutes
me.
already?
He's asking me, Artie. Take your time and be patient.
No, to be fair, I did open up the panel 5-10 minutes ago, and John, finish your point. Let Marty or let Artie then respond. Okay.
Okay.
Now you're being
So
a wee
he
bit
asked
of a
me
cunt.
about
Don't you
what I
just
see
butt
as
hurt.
good and evil. I would say good is what is healthy or beneficial for all, and evil would be what is not beneficial and healthy for all.
Okay. What is healthy and beneficial?
That which produces positive and healthy outcomes.
What is
Can we all
positive and
jump
healthy?
in this now? You know, what is beneficial? Does anyone else have other points?
Yeah.
Plus, swear to God, I've got Skylar
I'm sorry.
fiction backstage.
The
Who wants
notion
to
that
take a
because
sword?
God said it's good is horseshit and excuse and lacks. I don't. It's
is
really
going to
intellectually
degrade very
lazy to
quickly.
say that.
It
So
is.
could I get you to describe what good is?
And on that note, I've got fucking Skylar fiction backstage. Anybody want to take a sword to that? Do you know what? I'm going to put Marty in charge, and
Yeah, I'm in charge now, bitches.
Bomb, bomb, bomb.
Josh Skyler, how you doing, man?
Hello,
I'm
hello.
so glad
everybody.
you're well fed. I was concerned about what you look a little peckish.
Me?
Before you came on, you looked a little. Well, when you first came on, you looked a little peckish, but not anymore. You look. Go on. I'm sorry.
I didn't eat a whole lot today, so I just got off of work, so I decided to just stuff my face with Funyuns. Here, it's say, I just wanted to stir the pot a bit, is what Robbie said in the chat.
I do love a good.
Pot stirring.
It's like rowing without the cumbersome boat in the way.
I just dumped. I thought you just dumped the shit on Marty and left.
okay, right, there you go, right, fine. You're not a good moderator. You're fucking useless. You're reading the chat, okay? You're supposed to be You didn't even fucking say hello to Skylar that joined. Motherfucker, you know. Jesus, Marty. Skylar, thank you for joining.
You're welcome. How's everybody doing this evening? You guys doing okay?
We're having some shenanigans. The conversation did originally start with, is it good to manipulate people for the benefit of them and society? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Going against their will, by the way. And then Sadir has recently come in. Messenger and Sadir are having a bromance at the minute and letting that explode so Marty could get, or not Marty, Artie gets all triggered. And 2 people have left because I've moderated the chat and they get butthurt. So you've not missed much.
I think Messenger Reveals was talking some smack in one of the chats of a video recently. I can't quite pinpoint it. Might have been Pine Creek's channel or something. Wanted to get real personal with me about my ex-wife and everything. It was really weird. Like that kind of personal, right?
Right.
That's maybe something you need to have a one-on-one about. I don't really want to do internet drama.
Personal with you or personal with your ex-wife? If I may ask.
Personal with me.
Oh yeah,
Like-
see, that's not the way to go, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Totally make it like your ex-wife.
I do not
Making up
approve of
lies
projection.
about me.
I
Yeah,
do
no,
not
I
approve
can't.
of lies or bad actions against people's families or anything like that. I do not know of this. I definitely don't watch Pine Creek, but I'm just
The only shit that makes me attractive is her being recently damaged.
Anyway, not doing drama. I don't really like the drama, Skylar. If you
No,
don't
let's
mind.
let the yeah. You good.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta say that's some good time. We got some good. It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys in a while.
How have you been? Yeah, we've had Fabio here tonight. You here tonight. We're getting all the
Fabio
old
with the
guards.
legend.
Man,
If we stay on late enough,
Yeah, how
Spooky's
do I
gonna come
swap?
on.
Artie, you're in the wrong spot. I'm trying to point at the legend. Duck a second. Duck down so I can point at Fabio.
Artie duck.
There you go, the legend.
Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack, quack.
Are you okay?
You don't
It
need
looks-
to be a duck.
It looks fine to me. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I see nothing strange in heart. So yeah.
No, nothing has
What?
changed. So, Sadir,
Nothing has changed. Fascism
I'm gonna
is in
do this, right? We'll do this
America
for fun. We'll
right
do this for
now,
fun and
but
shit.
give us 20 minutes.
we'll do
Thank
this
you.
for shits and giggles. Sadir, I'm assuming that you would like to, if I can use the words, proselytize and go to other channels and things like that and join to convert people. Would I be correct in saying that?
I did not know what this discussion was about at first, but if you want me to convert you, I can.
So the answer is yes. You
A
do
whole
do
fucking
it,
statement right there.
right?
Robbie,
Okay.
get ready to be converted.
I'm not
So
here to do
excited.
that unless you want me to.
What is your best? I don't want to use the word Marty or Artie. Fuck's sake, Marty and Artie beside each other in the thing. There's too many things. Right? You can unmute when you want to. Just stop singing. Right? Sadir, what would be your best evidence convincing? Like, what would you do to convince me and convert me? Bring me back to the flock, so to speak.
Is that the argument we're having, or?
I'm directly asking
He's
you.
trying to
This
give you
has
the
been a
he's trying to give
multiple
you the
argument
floor.
conversation. You said that you're willing to convert me, and I'm saying, dude, the floor is yours. We have at least half a panel here, you know, that are going to listen to you. So, what are you? Convince
sure.
me. Show me how God exists.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, what sense of good and evil do you have right now? What do you think's good in this world?
Shit.
Are you asking me where I define my morality from?
Yes.
Personally,
To
internally.
what level are you a Ghostbuster?
Artie, I am going to wiggle my finger, and then I'm going to replace you with Marty on the second go.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Right. You're asking me where I get my morality from, yes?
Yes.
Internally.
All right.
Remember when I did this?
I define, personally, I decide what I think is good and right and wrong in this. You ask any evil person, they always did it for good reasons. But in my morality comes from internal.
Okay. Do you think that is subject to error?
Of course, I'm not perfect.
Can you possibly one day think you need to kill someone in order to do something right?
If somebody raped and murdered my daughter, yes, I would kill that motherfucker in the most brutal
And
way
they didn't.
possible.
They didn't do that.
I'd help
They
him.
stole $1 from you. They didn't even
Well,
steal
then-
it. They
no,
kissed
okay,
you.
no,
and
you
wanna kill
asked
them.
me.
That's my.
Hold
That's
on.
my. That's
You
my
asked
question.
me
Yeah, these are very
if there
different
would be
questions.
a circumstance where I would think that murder is justifiable. Yes, there's the example. If he stole $1 from me, I'd probably wave at him and go, "That's okay, man. Would you like a few more? Times must be hard."
I'm saying that's you right now. In the future, is it
Oh, for
possible
Christ's
that if somebody kissed you and then you would go to kill them? It's possible, right?
If they kissed you?
That's not
No,
a temptation
it
I
is,
have.
I have give you the only circumstance in the future that would happen that it would be possible for me to murder someone.
Did this motherfucker literally just say kissed? Like,
He did. Don't focus on it. Let me do my thing.
Robbie, you go
That's
to
a second
jail
finger wiggle.
and you get raped. Will you murder then?
I'm
Who are
waiting
you
to hear
asking?
Sadir's answer. I give them the answer to the only circumstance. So if you ask me in the future if it's possible that someone stole from me, someone kissed me, and I murdered them, no, that situation is not possible. Next question, please.
I have to disagree with that. You don't have a code to follow. You don't have something to
Oh, I
believe
do.
in
I have my
in
internal
yourself,
code,
what
and my
was I
internal
doing?
code. No, you're wrong. Sorry. My internal code says that murder is wrong, except in that one situation.
But you admitted your internal code is subject to error.
Yeah, I could be
Everybody's
wrong.
is.
Did you see what you said?
Yes, I could be wrong on certain things, but I know and will never change upon the fact that in that one circumstance, that is the only justifiable to me reason to do that thing to him.
Do you accept that the only morality you have is the one that you feel like has been given to you by somebody else?
What are you asking me?
What do you mean, what am I asking you?
Who?
That ended with a question mark.
Who?
Do you realize?
Who are you asking that to?
Or of a fedora man, myself.
I would like for you to take more time to consider your answers to her, but
I'm actually gonna have a beer tonight. I usually don't drink.
do you realize
For you, my brother, MathPig.
There you're drinking.
that your position is that you personally have no morality, but have supplanted that obligation to someone else, your chosen religion's chosen God?
It's not someone. Yes, but yes. Other than that, you're right.
Your God isn't a someone?
It's my God. Yes.
Your God isn't a
He's not
someone?
subject to the same amount of error that we all have as humans.
What the fuck? Where the hell is it? Your God isn't a someone?
If you're referring to that in a person, human-like.
Oh my
sense,
God! You realize if you're going to jail if you lie this much in court.
Now you didn't let him answer. Let the motherfucker answer. The deer.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's my God. He's not a human, and he doesn't have that error that that he can change to liking to want to kill someone tomorrow for absolutely no reason, which we humans can change to. So if we plant our faith in him, we can possibly have that same.
Robbie, I fucking hate you so much right now.
Yeah, we can have that same stability in our morality if we plant our
Seriously,
faith in him.
I would choke you with the last inch of my dick right now if that was possible.
Shadir was addressing you.
Such a
Are you
fucker.
talking to him or complaining about my kids?
You are such a fucker, Robbie.
Who's he talking
Address
to?
Shadir's point or I will hand it to Skylar. Skylar looks either very intensely concentrating or super angry. Shadir, go on ahead.
Yeah, I said what I had to. I don't know.
Yeah, if you could just repeat it, because Artie wasn't listening, he was slagging me. If you could just repeat your last statement so Artie can
Yeah, so if you so I said my God is not a human, he is my God. And our morality as humans are subject to error. God's is not. His is stable. So if we choose to plant our faith in him, we too can hope to have stable morality.
Okay,
Can I respond
so
to that?
what right, if I can, right? Oh, Artie's back. Go on ahead, Artie. Respond. Oh, no, he's not back. Okay, if I
Can you hear
on
me?
that specific thing, right? Respond in Artie's point, and I give my point of view to that. You say that God's morality, can't be wrong. What do you mean that it can't be wrong? If God's morality never goes against God, it's just very sort of circular to me. It's my brain. It's like, it doesn't make sense. If it never change, like, there's no outside perspective. So whatever God does, no matter what, the fact that you can't justify it from knowing his brain, it's fine. Everything is good as he does it. That just sounds like a dictator. You just sound like someone from North Korea, great leader.
And he is.
The guy from North Korea. Artie, you're in the chat. Are you going to respond?
To Obi-Wan as my savior? Yeah, no, I got a problem with Obi-Wan being my fucking savior.
Skylar, have you anything that you would like to throw at Shadir?
Please.
Not. I don't even really know what Sadir is or what's going. What he's
We only
trying
met
to.
Sadir 20
Just,
minutes
just
ago.
throw sparkly things or maybe some change.
How about
I
Sadir introduces
can't
himself?
be the only
Marty?
one annoyed by this fucker.
Let Sadir. Marty is laughing at you. There's so many people backstage. Oh my goodness.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Throw me out if you want me.
Right.
I
Artie,
can
I'm
watch.
gonna
I can
swap
watch
you
from
for
the
a minute.
rafters.
I'm going to even up the panel. Artie, I'm going to even up the panel a wee bit, so I do apologize. I love you. Don't get butthurt. I'll bring you back.
Catholic traditional.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
I think
That
we've
evens
got
it up.
3 Christians and
Yes.
3 non-believers now. Now, I use the word Christian lightly, John. Don't be you getting fucking butthurt. But we've got 3 believers in Jesus, and we've 3 non-believers in Jesus. The panel is now equal and fair.
Well, I think even atheists believe in Jesus.
Some of them
Oh,
get
yeah,
really
yeah.
angry about it.
Yeah, and you should.
Catholic traditionalist, is your mic working? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing, fellas?
Oh, wonderful, clear mic. Loving your audio. Way better.
How do
than
we
mine.
refer to you?
Yeah, you could instead of calling me Catholic traditionalist, you could just abbreviate it by calling me CT.
Sounds good, CT. Have you anything that you would like to add? Marty is fucking going mad in the chat. Have you anything you'd like
Yes,
to add to the conversation? Have you been listening, or have you a new topic, or where are you sitting on the?
Yes, I have both. I have both. Yes, I noticed that what you did was you stole the title morality, the label morality, and just stuck it on your preferences. That's what atheists usually do. But
No, I didn't.
yeah, I have a new topic.
I asked, are you asking where I get my morality from? And the person who asked me the question said yes, so I responded to that. I asked them for clarification. They agreed. If you have a problem, if you could define your terms, so me and you could have a conversation.
Yeah. No, I just recognized what you did earlier. So now, with regards to the topic I'd like to bring forward is I can prove God through ontological intelligibility itself.
No, you can't.
So if I define God, let's say, as an intelligent agent who has the power and ability to instantiate and impose all states of affairs, in other words, he's the ground of all being, he's eternal. In other words, he's not created. He never had a beginning. You guys don't believe in that God, right?
To be fair, man, I switched off when you started doing the philosophy tribe. I'm doing this 8 years. I've heard all these things, and Darth Dawkins been here 2 or 3 times, and you know, you're not really exciting me with a good conversation. If you want to prove God exists by using words, that's fine. I'm looking physical evidence, experiences, and things like that. More why you believe what you believe than what you believe. But you can drive on. I'll take a step back. I know Skyler's better at this than me, so I'll tip my hat over to the beautiful man, and I will let you have a conversation with him on that if he's up for it.
Yeah, sure.
Go for it, right?
Yeah, I'll hear you out here. I'm a God believer, by the way. We just might have some different views on Christianity.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm referring to atheists here. I'm speaking to atheists. So if you already believe in God, then I'm trying to have a conversation with the atheists.
Well,
so the atheist doesn't want to have a conversation with me. He doesn't want to answer my question. He's running away.
Whoa, bro! Wait a minute. I'll play
I'm here to have. I'm not. I would say that you could have a conversation with Skyler, and you would probably call him.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Notice everyone that's watching this YouTube video, the atheist is running away. He can't even answer the one question that I posed to him, whether or not he believes in the God that I just now defined. This is what they do, by the way.
I'm not an atheist, dude. I'm not an atheist. I've just done this.
What are you? An agnostic? Are you an agnostic?
I'm a person who is unsure. You would call me an agnostic.
Okay, so would that be technically an agnostic?
MathPig, I think he's a little nervous to talk to me about this subject for some reason. He's giving a lot of meta about everything else.
I don't think that he's nervous about talking to you. I think they're very well versed in their topic. I've been not doing this for nearly 18 months. I've got out of that sort of philosophy thing. It's not fresh in my mind.
Notice everybody's not answering the second question I posed to him. You know, I posed one question, he didn't want to answer it. Now I posed a simple question as to whether or not he's atheist or agnostic.
Now I'm just going to mute you.
Oh my lord!
If you unmute yourself and keep talking over me.
Now he's muting me. You know, this is what they do.
Notice everybody.
I'm
you know,
bored
listen,
with that sort of thing. Brick Johnson, I seen that you were a real person and I seen your camera on, so I appreciate
you.
that. Bigger step than other fuckers that are going to take on this. Catholic
Right.
traditionalist, I'm just bored with that sort of thing. We've all been there, we've all done that. You were offered someone who wanted to talk to you on the topic of that, and you did not want to do it. I don't want to have that conversation because it's boring. I'm here to have fun, not talk philosophy. We've all fucking done that for years, right? Even Sadir did better, and he's a fucking professional troll. So anyway, we've a slot left. Who the fuck do I let in? I'm gonna go with Tug because they haven't been here for a bit. So that evens the panel up again. Brick. Religious, non-religious, in the middle.
I'm a believer. That's how I would, at best.
Okay, Fabio,
label
me and you are outnumbered. It's now 4 against 2. Christians, take over.
Yeah. I really don't like the idea of labels. The problem with labeling is, like, even Christianity, it's an ism, right? And so each and every one of us have experiences, have beliefs, regardless of whether you believe in a God or not. Your experiences still lead you to a certain type of belief. And so because people want to try to fit people into boxes and they don't recognize that each individual man is their own man, or each individual woman child is their own woman or child, each animal is it's like the gator that sits next to the other gator. It's a different gator. It's got its own experience.
Labels are shit. I always said, if you put me in a pigeonhole, it just makes me easier to shoot.
Jesus Christ! I mean, finally somebody which talks, speaks some sense.
Then what do you do without labels?
Bloody hell! Come on, man.
Brick,
No, go ahead.
think-
No, listen. I'm really with you right now. I mean,
Right, Brick and Fabio, go.
So far, we have people buttered. We have people which comes with a script, and okay, carry on. I mean, we can have a conversation. Okay,
Right.
finally.
Yeah.
Bloody hell! About fucking time, man.
it's
Also,
it's hard
Tug,
because
if you don't say anything, Tug, or at least involve, I'm going to rotate people who don't talk because we've 4 backstage. So people who don't get involved in a respectful way in a conversation will be rotated out.
Understandable.
Skyler, that'll probably not happen to you or Fabio because like you're old guard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and-
by all
and
means,
I-
put if Messenger's still here, put him up. I said I would sit for a while. I like to wait.
Yeah, and I do have the ability to fill the gaps, and I'm not shy. So I have no problem as well to be interrupted if you guys need to, throw something out there. Please do.
Are
Interrupt.
you respectful of other people's beliefs? How dare you?
I'm doing a mic
Hold
check.
on,
Can you
no,
hear
I
me?
totally got to.
Yeah, you're good.
He was respectful of other people's beliefs. Fuck that.
I do like to go down the rabbit hole of all of the different belief systems, though. It fascinates me. You have the various as many people as are on the planet. That's how many belief systems there truly are. Right now,
No.
I
Perspectives.
believe
I would change that word to perspectives, but yes, I understand the point you're making.
Right. So the belief that I have, right, is that there is a God, right? And I believe it so much that I might even say that I know it. Now, I can't really say I know it because, as Socrates, really won the West with the idea that, you can't really know anything. The only thing that I know is I know nothing at all, right? But I will contend that there are some things that provide such proof, such evidence that you can have such conviction that perhaps maybe even you could say, I know this.
Such as, provide some examples.
Okay, so the belief that humans exist. That's a belief. For sure, it's a belief. Can you say that you know it?
Why could we say that we can't prove that humans exist?
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not.
Can you
just
say that you know it?
Yes, I can say I know that humans exist.
No, you can't.
All right. Now let's go down that rabbit hole. If you know that humans exist, you know that they have a heart, a brain, bones, the structure of the body. Can you say that you know a human has or is a soul?
Depends on how you define soul. If you define soul like I do, which is one's inner state of being, which is basically the way that you cognitively, experientially, biologically, and emotionally process things, then I would say, yes, you have a soul or a heart or a mind.
So you believe it so much that you can say, I know this thing. However, it isn't actually a piece of knowledge. It is only a belief.
Well, if you define belief as an assumed truth and you defined knowledge as a provable truth, then are you saying that nothing is provable and there is no knowledge?
Except through God.
Okay, so that's my point. Is so if your premise is always that you can't know anything, you can't prove anything without God, then what's the point of making the argument to begin with? Everything we have is belief, and then where do we go from there?
So I'm not a nihilist. I do.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. You didn't answer my question.
Well, I was attempting
Are you
to.
No, you were going down a rabbit hole of script. So what I'm asking you to do
It's not
is
script.
what I'm asking you to do is going, if what we hold to be true is just a bunch of assumed truths, how do we get anywhere in terms of argument or reason with one another?
You have to prove it to yourself. You cannot prove it to another man.
You can't prove anything to anybody if knowledge doesn't exist, because knowledge are provable truths, beliefs are assumed truths. That's a psychological fact.
Knowledge exists in the mind. Would you agree with that?
I would say that everything that you are as a human being exists within your own mind, including me for myself.
That is not true. That cannot possibly be true, because we have legs, and we have those legs outside of our mind.
But you don't know you have legs without your mind.
You forget something. You forget
if I stick a knife in your fucking head and you die, you don't know that you have legs anymore.
But to be fair, people who have lost their legs still believe and can feel their legs, even though their physical legs are gone.
But that's not the point that he's making. He's saying you
I
can't
know
know
that's
that
not the
legs
point that he's
exist.
making. The point that you're making is the fact that it's there, this, that. But people can get sensory information from a leg that doesn't exist.
I'm saying that knowledge are facts, and he's saying facts can't exist without God. So where do you go with that?
Now, I believe that. However,
belief is assumed truths.
Hold on. An atheist would say that my belief doesn't matter. How can I prove that God exists?
Beliefs are very relevant. Beliefs, the majority of the decisions that you make in the world are based on assumed truths, not facts.
Right, so it's always assumption.
It's not always assumption, because I believe that there are provable truths. I know that there's things I can prove, and I know that there's things that I just assume are true.
You just said all truths are based on assumed, or all facts are based on assumed truths. You just said that.
I did.
You
Well,
did just say that.
If I said that, I misspoke.
Well, then speak it correctly.
I did in the beginning, which was knowledge are provable truths, beliefs are assumed truths. Those are the two things that you hold to that dictate all the decisions that you make from a cognitive basis.
Okay, who are you proving it to?
Whoever has an open mind and willing to listen that they might be wrong and is not blinded by confirmation bias.
So the only person that could possibly be is yourself, correct?
No.
So how are you going to prove that? How are you going to prove that someone else accepted your belief?
I don't need to.
Oh,
I don't
exactly.
need to prove. I don't need to prove that they accepted it, other than if they said, "Hey, I accept that." That would be evidence to me, or prove that it did occur.
So you have an experience, right? And I cannot sit in your body and even take it back in time and consider your experience. All I can consider is your words or even a picture that you might draw. Correct?
I would say that's true. Yeah.
Okay. So then I can't possibly know what your knowledge is.
You can't know what somebody else knows. Absolutely not.
Correct. So then there is no proof that can be provided from you to me or from me to you that would verify knowledge.
That's not true, because we could sit there and agree that matter exists. Is that not a scientific phenomenon? Is that not something that's true? Is that not something that's provable?
That's an agreement. That's not a proof.
So what is your measure of basis that everything is mere belief, and that everything? Why are we not living in a simulation, a computer simulation like the Matrix, and none of this is real?
Yeah, I would actually argue that every belief is fiction, right? The only reality is what is real, right? So you can have an existence that you believe or even quote unquote know that exists in your mind that you've made up. It has sounds, it has feelings. You can even see it, but it is not real. It is
But
not the real existence.
Taking the position that you're holding to and the arguments you're attempting to make, what is the benefit of holding to the truths that you're assuming right now?
Acceptance.
If I can,
Acceptance of what?
because
That
there was a
nothing
small
exists
pause,
and
there
everything
was a tiny
can be
little pause
answered?
there, right? Tiny little pause. I'm going to open the conversation up and ask other people's opinions here. Here's popped in every now and then. Fabio's looking at us. But I'm going to open it up here. I'm just letting you know. So either aim the conversation that way, or I will ask people's opinion on what has discussed. Not just brick and mess. Go on ahead.
Yeah, benefits to who?
I'm
Benefits
saying
to
that
me. I do this for my entertainment and the audience's entertainment. This is my free time.
No, I think he was
And
responding
so
to me,
if
to
I'm
Robbie.
just
Yeah, I was
sitting
responding to
here
Messenger.
watching a panel have
Robbie,
a
he was
conversation,
Robbie, he was responding to me. He wasn't responding to
Oh.
your statement.
I do apologize. Sorry.
So
Yeah.
what I was suggesting is you're taking this position of either saying knowledge cannot possibly exist without God and everything is assumed truths to begin with. And I'm like, what is the benefit or what is the purpose of the position that you're taking? Is it only
What
is
benefit?
it no, let me finish. Is it only to sit there and create enough doubt in what we hold to be true that we go, you know what? God certainly must be the only thing that can exist.
Go ahead,
Again,
Sadir. I know you
benefit
want
to who? It's subjective as well. What benefit is?
But again, all you're doing is making an argument to get nowhere. You're not trying to make a point. You're not trying to arrive at
It's a
any type of
point.
truth that's
It is a
beneficial
point.
to anybody in this panel or anybody in the world. You're just making dumbass arguments like Darth Dawkins does.
So that would be
If that's
your
what
view.
you call, that's what you call the argument, and that's what you call, doesn't mean it's false.
I didn't say
You
it was
don't like it,
false.
that
I'm
doesn't
just
mean
saying
it's
that it has no benefit. So if you're
Benefit
this
to
Christian
who?
person, if you're this
Benefit to who?
believer in
What
God
is
and that's the
benefit? What do we
ultimate
define
thing,
as benefit?
Now
what
you are
you're-
both talking
what-
over each other. Messenger.
I'm not finished.
Messenger. It's not someone talks to you. And I know sometimes we all. I'm one for the same for over talking. Skylar and Fabio have been very quiet, and the three people who believe in Christ are defining and discussing their different beliefs in Christ. I'd like Skylar and Fabio to throw some bits and forth back in as well, and you know, see what their thoughts is on what's happened, or if they got an opinion. Because I do feel that the audience is saying that it's. I want to keep everybody happy here. I'd like to open it up to everyone. Also, I want to need a timer. Turn on people. Fabio, Skylar, you've been very quiet. Have you any thoughts?
Not particularly on what they're discussing. It's not. It's not really that interesting to me.
I think that me
Yeah.
and Skylar, we are on the same boat right now.
I'm not very
we are
interested. The
super
audience isn't
bored.
very interested. You know, the defining of Christ between three different Christians and stuff. But I'm not trying to be rude, you know. But we'd like to be involved as well.
No, but it's okay. I mean, I think that okay, so I'll talk for Skylar too. I think that the angle that the conversation is taken, it's been the same for 10 years around here. I mean, I can't grow a beard like Skylar, but I mean, it could probably happen this evening, you know. And again, you know, it's an interesting topic maybe for anybody which hasn't heard it for like 250,000 times, but after a while it gets a bit, you know, stale.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why the same thing with traditionalists. You know, me, Fabio, and Skylar.
Oh, that guy can fuck off right now. I mean, it just started from the get-go. It was already gone. I mean, my brain just switched off the moment he started speaking. Yeah. Not
Messenger's
interesting.
now butthurt, so we're putting Messenger backstage. They've been triggered.
So I just wanted to kind of point out, because I understand why it is that individuals who don't believe in a God would argue against this found knowledge that Christians or believers claim. I get it. It's a stupid argument. It's not knowledge, it's a belief. It's faith. That's why they call it faith in the book, and that's why we should too call it faith and stop calling it knowledge. I just want to point that
That's
out.
why they call it the faith.
Fuck's sake. I bring you back and you're fucking Amsterdam red light district and swinging yourself. Like, you know, at least Marty's prettier.
It's because of the lighting, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Hold on. Can we slam down a wee bit? Totally off topic and all the rest of it. I do apologize to the religion and all the rest of it. This, that, and the other. Skylar, how have you been, man? I have genuinely missed having the conversations with a lot of people like yourself and Fabio and maybe a little bit Artie. It's also nice to meet new people. But yeah, we've been going for 2 hours. I don't really give a fuck anymore. The wine's starting to kick in. I miss my friends. How have you been, Skylar?
Can he just
And by
say
the
that
way,
the
sorry,
wank,
before you respond,
the wank is
Fabio,
kicking
me
in?
and him met up in Dublin. I give him a hat. We broke bread. He is a friend. Fuck off.
Just living my best life, man. Just trying to live my best life. I can't complain, man. Living the teacher life, helping kids, and I like it, man. I like the life I live now. It's pretty chill. There's Scoob over here. Go over there, dude. Yeah, nothing too eventful, man. Nothing too eventful. Come on here every once in a while, play around on YouTube, meet. I might in Discord a little bit. I play around, hang out on there a little bit, but it's too much drama, man. Too many angry people in these rooms. People so mad at each other.
Yeah, I want that. I want this to be a place that used to exist before we lost a certain wonderful person, and it's so hard to rebuild something that was that organic when it was happening. But man, it's good. It's good to. I don't know how long you've been noticing my name, Skylar, but I have. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop right there.
Oh, come on, man. This is the most human you've
No,
been.
I had one. I was
You've been
gonna.
Joker.
It ended with angle, and in the middle of it was your. And I could not put a thing that went with angle, and also your. Yeah, I still get it's. I am famous for not being able to speak. I mean, that's kind of how people know me.
If I can, just totally being selfish and all about me. Sadir, I've never seen you around before. I do appreciate you not only being in the chat, but joining. I really want to find new people to talk to. Maybe me and you can have just a one-on-one sometime, and, you know, we'll bounce back and forth, find out more about each other. I prefer to
Better
do that
idea.
because this is insane sometimes. That's what I used to do, was have an hour with a person, get to know them, have a good conversation, and then this. But I appreciate you coming over. Did you just search for live streams? Did you see me about? Did someone suggest that you come here if I can be a wee bit selfish so I know where's working?
Big balls.
Yeah. I just came here from my For You page. Recommended.
Huge
I don't. Oh,
ball.
well, YouTube, brilliant. Okay, so the algorithm noticed me. Thank the YouTube gods. Brick, I've seen you about. I think we've talked before, yeah?
Was it? Wait, hang on. Was it because of the massaging of the ball?
The what?
The massage of the ball.
There's no bald. It is desperate in need of a shave. Look how fuzzy it looks just there. It's like it's massive, right?
You
Brick, I
act
think
like
I've seen
you're
you
the.
around. Where have we
You act
interacted?
like you're the dick on this fucking. I swear to
Sorry,
God.
Messenger.
You
Go
are
on ahead.
such a prick. Oh, wait,
Sorry,
hang on.
Messenger. Go on ahead then. Anyway, Brick, I think we've interacted before. I've seen you around, yes?
Yes, sir. Yeah. D-Doc.
Pardon?
D-Doc. Demolished Doctrine. Richard.
Oh, was it? No, I haven't watched Richard's in ages. But you've met, well,
Yeah.
I've been on Richard, so you've maybe
Well,
seen.
he hasn't done a show in a minute, and I'm sure he's working. He's a busy guy, so you know.
Yeah,
hard worker.
I see him more on other people's channels than I see him actually going live. But really appreciate you coming in, man. Liked your points, liked how your approach was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I try to live in reality and accept. Well, you know, one of the things too is the English language, the wording of certain things, and I kind of like with D-Doc. That's why I like him so much. He goes to the words, the letters. The very letters have meaning. The very words, the very sentences we say, it all has meaning. And so a lot of people don't realize what they're saying when they say certain things. When they say, "I know this thing," and then it's really just a belief. So you know, I try to live in reality. You know. So, but
Brojo says Richard has a hoe. Is that because he bought a garden? Did he get a house with a nice garden? Because I thought he's celibate. Anyway,
I don't know.
no, if I can, yeah. We're going to round down. We're going to be aiming for rounding down. I feel that if I go over 2 hours and the live stream I end, the conversation will go on in the background. So if people want to join, the link is pinned. You can listen behind stuff. I don't give a fuck, like. But I will rotate who wants to talk. But I think we're going to start winding down. But I just want to shout out some love to the. Artie's been here from the start, as much as I regret that. Shout out to Messenger for being the first person that I reached out to that said that they would come on. So, reach out to me on Facebook, reach out to me on Twitter. I don't really do much of the social media, but I get the beeps. So, you know, emails in the description. I'd love to have more conversations Friday night. This is my fun time. This is my downtime. So, yeah, come
Don't
out
make it
entertain
weird.
me, let's entertain others.
Don't make it weird. Okay, now you're making it weird.
No, I am doing fucking Captain Picard. I'm fixing my shirt and something.
Yeah, and we all recognize that with your cravat.
Well, my pint is coffee, so I'm glad to share a pint with you.
I appreciate it, man. I'm starting to be going into coffee. One of the guys at work has got the new percolator. We don't really do percolator over here, but we've got great on instant. We do have really good instant compared to what you have over there.
In
but
your
we got a
honor,
percolator at work, and it's not bad.
Robbie, in your honor, my serpent is measured in inches.
Dude, I work in a factory where, no fucking joke, we have old people and young people, and some of the actual diagrams have both inches and millimeters on it. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I'm literally on that cusp. Even in the United States, I'm the reason those exist.
Anyway, we will run around the room, we'll wind it up. Artie, since you love talking so much, we will also give people in the backstage a chance, you know? So the first person to talk is the first person to get kicked to me. Brothers, Artie, would you like to go first?
No, I would just like to bend over so you can kick me.
Oh, who did we lose?
Oops.
Skyler.
Skyler. Oh, I was going to give Skyler a chance to shout out. No, Skyler, lots of love, man. Big friend, you know. Artie, you're a cunt. Obviously, right.
My
Hey,
lungs
Marty.
are gonna hurt
Around the
so
room.
much
Rick,
tomorrow.
Rick, I bow my hat to you. Where's my hat? I tip my hat to you, and I will shout out, do some streams, whatever. Do your links. Go mad, man. If you put your name in the chat, I'll give you mods so you can share your links. But yeah, do a shout out,
Alright,
do whatever.
alright. Let me do my emojis. I like my emojis. I can't help it. There it is. Clay Foundations 1A Press.
Marty will tell you I hate him. But anyway.
Yeah, so it's Clay Foundations 1A Press. These days, I'm attempting to try to hold my government accountable. I feel that that's a very important thing, starting with the lowest levels. And if I can get the lowest levels working correctly, then maybe
good luck
work
with
on the
that,
bigger.
man. Good fucking luck with that, man.
I do believe it starts in the home. Family is the most important thing. And beyond that, your belief structure, I do believe you need a strong version of what is right and wrong, whether you call it morality, ethics, all that stuff. You know, take a look around you, see what the other people are doing. But I appreciate you. MathPig, good to see you. It's Robbie, from what I've heard. So
Yeah, Robbie. Yeah. With
All right,
MathPig, Robbie, call me anything but too early in the morning.
well, it's good to see you. I'm glad you helped me up. And
Hang about, man.
I'll
As I
definitely-
said, the public stream's going to end, but I enjoy conversations after. I'm at that limit. I don't want to be drunk on stream.
Okay. Well, I'll hang out a minute then. You wanna go ahead and
He's
drop me so other people talk?
He's no
Well,
Irish
Artie,
of
you
a
keep-
god.
For someone who doesn't want to fucking talk and says they can't find the words, you never shut up.
What kind of dog is your dog, Artie?
This one is a wonder mutt, and the other one is an under mutt.
Aw, puppies. I work with dogs, so I always ask whenever I see somebody with a dog.
Yeah, somebody beat the shit out of this one before I got him, but
Aw.
he's here now, which is, I'm happy with it. I don't brag about it or anything. It's not like I brought it up because he's exhibiting so much confidence and love.
That's
totally
good.
unrelated to the fact that somebody beat the shit out of him before I got him, because it didn't take a couple of years or anything to get a dog like that to get even close to where we are right now. But we just gotten to the point where I can like smack his face and he wants to play after I do it, rather than cower in any way.
Aw. Yeah, it doesn't take
I
dogs
don't wanna
long.
ta- I don't
Not when they're
want to take. I don't
No,
want to take away from the.
it's taken 5 years. They beat the
I
shit
don't want to
out
take
of
away
us.
from the beautiful puppy and the lovely conversation. But anyway, so dear, have you anything you'd like to share or stream? Because they're just going to talk about doggies. We can do that offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to ask what are you guys into? What do you guys
In
study?
hobbies or what?
Usually
Yeah,
something
these
between
topics.
40 and 50.
Sorry, I didn't hear his response because Artie was playing with his giraffe. So dear, what do you mean by what am I into?
Like these topics?
I
What
do this-
discussions?
Yeah, well, me and Fabio and a few other people have been doing it for years. We've all disappeared and come back and disappeared and come back. We have lives going on, I like to tinker, I like to build things. This used to be the passenger seat Ford Mondeo. I spent today with my father welding it and reinforcing it, putting a spin bearing system and all on it, and it's so comfy, it reclines and all. So,
Nice.
that's
Amazing.
I don't like to sit still. I'm a very active, crafty, tinkery person. I think it's wonderful to learn. If you tell me something I don't know, I will probably spend at least a day finding out as much as I. Not that I like to be a cocky cunt, but I like to know as.
Show off.
All right, that's great.
Fucking try hard.
Thank you for that. When you were given the opportunity to share about yourself, you asked about the host. So even if people called you a troll, that was a nice thing that you did there.
Oh, do you
Fabio.
think?
Yeah, no
How
problem.
dare you accuse me of such shit?
Shut the fuck up, dog man. Fabio, have you anything that you would like to share? Are you still doing the Formula One?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm under treatment right now because of the eye. I don't know if I told you, I got this kind of, it's not an infection, it's an inflammation to the muscle of my eye. So I've got diplopia, but yeah, I mean, it's cool because I take 500 milligrams of cortisone every week, so I'm happy. I've got no more joint pain, no nothing. So yeah, cool. Fantastic.
My father's blind in one eye. He had to get like given like too artificial. His body kicked and he hit someone died. He's blind in one eye, and he came in the day and was welding, and I'm holding the steel, in the wee triangle thing to position. He comes down with a welder, and I'm sort of making, I'm watching where I'm holding it, and then I look up away from the light, obviously with the welder. Motherfucker's not even looking. He's just sort of down like that because he's no mask, the battery's dead, and he's welding like that. And I was like, dude, should you not even look at what you're doing? And his response was, I'm blind in one eye anyway. I'm doing it 40 years. It either works or it doesn't. It's like, yeah, you're right. You know, it did work. Fuck it. You don't need to look.
Is my mic working or is it still off?
You're back just in time to shill yourself, make everybody.
Just in time to shill
They're all
yourself.
gonna love you.
I don't need to shill shit. What the hell would I shill?
Oh my God!
Here's
That's the
what I'll
first time
shill.
I've understood. Wait, I would just like for the world to appreciate how long it has taken for me to recognize his accent and the things he's trying to say. For me to get to the point where I could say, he just said, "Shill yourself."
Your face is priceless. You were like, motherfucker, I don't know whether to shout or cry or laugh. I'm gonna kick him. Don't get
First
triggered.
goddamn
Don't get
time.
triggered. Don't you get triggered by the triggering.
No, it was just the
Messenger.
first fucking time that I actually knew the things that didn't make any sense in my head made sense in my head.
What you're saying doesn't make sense.
What I'm saying is, it's taken this long. I've known you for what, 5 years, and suddenly
Seven.
some things that you say in the thickest part of your accent that were always just a white haze in my head. I just didn't.
Would you
it's
like
not
to
that I
just-
didn't hear it. I just didn't.
Oh.
It just didn't register as language. And now, tonight, just now.
Is this what Christians feel like when someone stands up at the front and says, "Testify"? Are you giving
Yes,
us your
sir.
epiphany? Did
Yeah.
you have an epiphany? He's testify. Right, everybody, come on, testify. To be fair, that's a very small American penis to be swinging with, like. You clearly don't have Irish blood in you. Marty, have you anything that you'd like to
You
share?
clearly
other
never
than-
tried to take it dry.
Shut the. Oh my god. That's the third finger wiggle. Right, I want to thank everybody for coming. Marty, oh, you have something. Sorry, go on ahead.
So I have 3 books that are 2 of them are on Kindle, one of them's on Amazon. They're called The Idea of You, Dead to Me, and In a Place Like This. And you have to search Marty O'Malley with an IE, and you'll find them on Amazon and Kindle.
Yeah, and by the titles alone that I can tell, they are about very happy leprechauns with puddles of gold and cheerful people. A very cheerful book.
Yeah. They're about my pain, Robbie.
Anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. We'll have Saturday Shenanigans next Saturday, same time, same place. Although it'll be different now. Same time for me, different time for you. Because technically now, if it's after 1 a.m. here, it is, yes. The clocks are going to change tonight. So, I don't know. It's going to be 11 UK tomorrow. Or 11 UK next Saturday. You'll see the schedule.
It's already free where I am.
Do you have topics in mind for that next week, MathPig?
My topics for next week will be whatever happens I see makes me think. The week before you were on Messenger, where I brought up the idea of severance, splitting your brain and it being a prison and what defines a person because I was watching Severance. There's no real. I'll take in information during the week. It will program my brain to think about a topic.
Now you're talking.
for the
Now
show.
you're talking. Programming. All about programming.
So yeah, I have no idea what the topic is. I will. go
Audience
between-
building moment.
I try to go between as many Christian channels as possible to engage with them in their own grounds. I do think that by Prick being here, sorry, not a prick, Brick, being here, that, I don't know, get yourself around, okay? There's no point in sitting having a channel where we all slam each other. Go to other people's, hit their links, go and talk to them. Think for yourselves, speak your mind, and be vocal. and America is fucked. And on that, peace out.
Peace.
Where's the